Hi, welcome to this second video about Virtual Airlines Manager. If you have not seen the first video, I really recommend to you to have a look. In this second video, I'm going to talk about the administration panel of Virtual Airlines Manager. The first thing you have to do is log into the system, and your user must be an administrator. So let's take an administrator user to enter into the system. Only administrator users will be able to see the link for the administration. So let's go to the administration. This is the administration. You will see that there are many icons. Each of these icons are used to control one of the entities of the system. So let's go one by one. Parameters. As you know, and I am assuming that you have read the documentation, the parameters are very important for the behavior of the system. This is the reason why you cannot delete this information. You can visualize and you can edit. I am not going to explain the meaning of all the parameters. Please read the documentation to understand all of them properly. Hub Manager. You can organize your virtual airlines in a logic way. I mean, you can divide all the structures in hubs. This is what the real airlines are doing. They have hubs where the main routes are departing from the hubs. With Virtual Airlines Manager, you are able to organize your airline in hubs, so you can create, edit, or delete as many hubs as you need. Take in mind that a hub will contain or will be associated to one or more pilots, and a pilot can be only part of one hub. Fleet type. The concept of fleet type is very important for the system. As you probably know, and it is explained in the documentation, the regular routes are associated to a fleet type. It means that you can associate any kind of fleet to a route. You can create as many fleet type as you need. So this is one of the flexibility of the system. For example, let's create the Airbus 330. Here. And now we can create aircraft of this new Airbus 330 fleet type or any other, or for any other fleet type. In the fleet manager, you can see all your aircraft. All the aircraft are associated to a fleet type. For example, we can see all the fleets, all the aircraft with fleet type Airbus 320. Sorry. Okay. Or we can change, for example, this one. We can change the type to Airbus 330. So you can do whatever you need with your fleet. You can create fleet type dynamically, and this will affect for the aircraft that you can create. The rank manager. The rank manager is used to associate a salary per hour for the pilots. All the pilots will have a rank, and this rank will be linked for the salary that the pilot will have for every hour they fly. Now let's go for the pilot manager. In the pilot manager, you will be able to see all your pilots, all that are active, inactive, or those that are new. For the new pilots, they cannot log into the system until you activate them, or also until you provide to them with a valid call sign. In order to activate a pilot, you have to edit the pilot profile, assign the active in the activation field, provide a call sign, put the pilot in a location. Let's put him in Dubai, and then you can assign a certification for this pilot. Now we have the Airbus 330 because we have created it before. So now the system is activating the pilot, and at the same time the system will send an email for this pilot with information about the new call sign associated. Also, we can delete the pilots, but it is not recommended to delete pilot that has been active in our system. The delete should be only used to reject the new pilots. You can also inactivate a pilot with one single button. When a pilot is inactivated, he cannot log into the system. We keep all the data, all the historical data from this pilot, the flights, the hours, and so on, but the pilot will not be able to log into the system. If we want to activate the pilot, we can do it when we want. So let's inactivate this pilot. Now this pilot is not able to log into the system. If we can to recover this pilot, just edit the profile and assign the activation as active. Now the pilot is again active and he will be able to log into the system. Route Manager. In the Route Manager, you will be able to create routes and associate routes to any fleet type. This is already described in the documentation, but take in mind, this is very important, that the routes are not associated to a particular aircraft. They are associated to a fleet type. So for example, this route from Madrid to Barcelona, the 1100, is associated to this fleet type. Let's change this association and then assign the Airbus 320 and Boeing 738. Sorry. Now we don't see anything new, but we can see in the route assignation that the route 1100 this one, we ordered this, and the 1100 is associated to the Boeing 738 and Airbus 320. Here you can see the association. So read the documentation where I explain in detail what is the link between the fleet type, the fleet, and the routes. User type. The user type concept is only used in order to split the users that are pilots, staff, or administrators. Only the administrators and staff users are able to enter into the administration panel. It is important that you not delete this record, because in that case you won't be able to enter into the administration panel. This is already described in the documentation. The jump validator. With the jump validator, you can assign a cost for a jump. A jump is when a pilot is moving from one location to another location without flying. So again, read the documentation, because behind all these three links there are parameters that you must configure for your virtual airline. The flight validator. In this page you will be able to approve or reject all the flights done by your pilots. Also you can see information about the flights if they have been done using an ACARS, FS Cooper or FS ACARS. When you are approving or rejecting a flight, this flight will be disappearing from this list, because is already validated or rejected. For example, let's take Madrid to Copenhagen. We are rejecting, and we are not seeing this flight anymore. Event Manager. In the Event Manager, you will be able to create events that will be visible in the homepage of the system. The users will be able to see the events based on two dates, the published date and the hide date. So it is not necessary to modify any PHP file in order to display the information in the web. So all the events will be visible if the current date is equal or greater to the published date, and automatically the event will be hidden from the home page if the current date is equal or greater to the hide date. Exactly the same for the NOTAMs. You can create NOTAMs, and the NOTAMs will be visible based on the published date and hide date. Email Manager. In the Email Manager is the place where you can configure your welcome message. You cannot delete this record because this record is mandatory to send a proper welcome email to the new users. But what you can do is to modify the welcome message. You can put in your own language, and also you can add 3 emails address that will be in copy of the email. So with this action, the 3 email address will be aware about the registration of a new user. Language Manager. In the Language Manager, you will be able to create new language, and as I told in the first video, one of the capabilities of Virtual Airlines Manager is a multi-language application. It means that you can create as many languages as you wish, and you can translate the English labels into your language without any programming skills. The only thing you have to do is to translate some labels in a PHP file. It's quite easy, and it is perfectly documented in the documentation of the project. I think I have been reviewing all the main aspects of the administration of Virtual Airlines Manager. Again and again, read the documentation because many of the things are explaining there. This is only a video, is only a summary, and I hope you have all the information you need to manage your own virtual airline. Happy flights, and see you again. Bye bye.